which way the wind blows. When there's days
Good morning. You're listening to Lift Your Spirits with Dena Marie every Friday here on 1150 AM KCNW. I'll be introducing you to fascinating people, fun places to visit, and activities that are guaranteed to lift your spirits. Whoop, whoop.
I'm excited. It's going to be a great end of this week.
Yeah, follow the sun because I can see it. I'm following it way over here to the left at the beach.
And into our blue moon we're expecting tomorrow.
Full moon.
Yeah, full blue moon.
Halloween.
Yep. And the last time we actually had a full moon on Halloween was, I believe, in 1944, I've been hearing.
Really?
Yep. On Halloween. There's been plenty, obviously, blue moons or full moons since then, but...
You are the Halloween man of the year. I was going through my memories this morning. You
Can I say?
lifted my spirits with all your costumes.
Did the Skittles pox guy come
Yep,
up? Yeah,
yep.
that was
I said
my
it was a very
favorite one.
sweet show.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
And then you were that Stay Puff man.
I was S Puff. I was a slim down. I was on a diet plan that year. So the Stay Puff Marshmallow Man from the Ghostbusters movie, he's super big. So I was like a deflated version. So I called myself S Puff.
Very tall.
I was.
It was.
So I was on a diet regiment.
You lift my spirits.
Thanks. You too.
All right. So the clocks go back. So
Sunday?
yeah.
Yep, backwards. So
Follow the sun.
mm-hmm.
Get up early. Get up late. I don't know. If you see sun, get outside. How's that? But that was Clint McEwen, clintmcewenmusic.com. Love him. Normally I have some musicians in the studio, but as is right now, we're not doing that. But he moved to Orcas Island, and he's doing music lessons, and he's doing some virtual stuff. So I invite anyone who loves Clint McEwen to visit him online at clintmcewenmusic.com, and we'll end the show with Follow the Sun. And so I have two grandkids. I have a 10-year-old Ethan, and he's on his computer and he's doing school probably in about 10, 15 minutes from now. And then I have a granddaughter, and she's 4. She just turned 4. And I was thinking, everyone's talking about the kids that are in school, but how about the preschoolers? And what can we do for them to keep them entertained? And joining us this morning is Joanne Gramlich. She's an author. Good morning, Joanne.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Tell the listeners what it is that you wrote.
Okay, so I wrote a couple books. The first one is Talk, Play, and Read with Me, Mommy, Interactive Activities to Enhance Your Child's Language Development from Birth to Age 5, and that was published in 2014. And then I also published an ebook version of the Mommy book, Talk, Play, and Read with Me, Mommy, Interactive ebook, and that is for the tablet and iPad users. And then recently, July of 2020, I had published Talk, Play, and Read with Me, Daddy, Interactive Activities to Enhance Your Child's Language Development from Birth to Age 5. And basically, the books are geared towards our younger population to get them ready for school. So the book is kind of set up like a recipe book with a ready, set, go theme, where the books or the activities within the book provide the objectives of the activities, the how to elicit communication with your child, some strategies embedded within the activities, and also some sample dialogue. And basically, it's, like you said, it's infant, toddler, and preschool activities. The activities within the infant section can be expanded on. For example, there's 5 little monkeys. And, of course, when you're doing that with your 7-month-old, you're just going to be doing gestures with the hand movement, and the body movement, which allows the child to increase their fine and gross motor skills by performing the body movements. But then when you're at that toddler age and that preschool age, you can incorporate monkey puppets. I have lots of hand puppets for the 5 little monkeys, the barreled monkeys, and then that's going to incorporate other skills like counting and then colors. They're going to use their memory skills. They're going to increase their vocabulary, and also their imaginative play, because they're going to act out what a monkey does, etc. And so, again, what I'm trying to say is that there's 3 chapters within the book, the infant, toddler, preschooler, and you can modify or expand on the activities. And there's a whole lot of skills that can be learned along the way. So, and it's very interactive for mom, dad, caregiver, grandma, grandpa, etc. So that's just a quick snapshots. So there are a lot of fun activities, and most of the activities within the book, I wouldn't say all of them, but a good majority are set up during the daily routines, which a majority of the learning is taking place from birth to 5. So, for example, snack time, meal time, dress time, bath time, playtime, all kinds of interactive activities around those regular daily routines. And that's when the kids can develop and increase their language skills. So they're very helpful and a lot of fun.
And you do something else. What do you do for children and language?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Okay.
So I'm a speech language pathologist. Is that what you meant?
That's what I meant. Yeah. And
all right. I was wondering. Okay. So yes, I'm a speech language pathologist, and I do work with the birth to 5 population, and I also have worked with school age kids, kindergarten through 7th, and I recently transitioned to the preschool population, which I've done both for over 20 years. So yes, and I have a lot of hands-on experience with the little ones and then the school age ones. And, you know, learning for children, making learning fun is something that isn't as hard as maybe we think it is. During those daily routines, so for example, well, let's just start with mealtime. Sometimes kids are fussy and they don't want to come to the table. Something as simple as letting them bring their little superhero or their teddy bear to the meal, and it engages them and, you know, keeps their interest, and you already are starting conversation with their little, you know, furry friends or what have you, and they get to role play. They can ask their little friends, do you want a glass of milk, or do you want a cookie, and vice versa, go, you know, those volleys going back and forth, just engaging them and keeping their interest. So right off the bat, I mean, sometimes I've done speech in the homes, and it might be, you know, that meal time and the kid is running around because he doesn't want to sit. But there's just creative ways to pique their interest, and that's what the book is all about, getting these kids to talk during these routines and keeping them engaged while making learning fun.
Well, and I think now more than ever, being creative and with language, because we're putting our kids in front of computers and we're putting them in front of televisions and, you know, whatever technology we have, pulling them away and engaging with them. And you know, when we're so busy, we're not talking to our kids anymore. And I'll go to a park and the mom's got their phone on and they are not engaged with their children whatsoever. And to me, it's heartbreaking because kids need conversation in the car, not playing a game or something, you know.
Right.
So right now more than ever, because they're at home and we don't have the teachers engaged, us as parents need to, or grandparents need to be fully engaged with our children.
Right. I mean, there's a balance to it all. I mean, for example, like you said, I have the ebook format for the mommy book, and it's very stimulating. It's fun. It's interactive. It has the audio spots. It has a lot of animation, and you know, the kids can press buttons on it, and the language, you know, sentences or whichever chapter you happen to be in, that type of language will come out. But there's just a balance to it all, because sometimes I see kids, you know, I work in the preschools and I go to the UPKs or daycares, and you'll see that if I show them the iPad, I can tell right away who has too much iPad time versus somebody who's not, you know, because as soon as you take it away, they lose it. I'm like, oh no, this is one of those kids. And then there, you know, as a matter of fact, I have one presently, and I've figured out how to keep his interest in a creative fashion, so we don't even need the iPad anymore. It's good. So as long as you have, you know, just things that they want to look at, like he enjoys holding a dinosaur during our whole session. So if it's something as simple as that, or like I said, a teddy bear or their baby doll, why not let them have it? If you know, if it's you're working in the home, and they can also use that little figure or whatever that it's going to be, something that they, you know, love to play with and engage with. Why not have them pretend that little teddy bear is sweeping the floor with you and talk about it, those verbs, those nouns. Just get excited. I mean, nobody likes to do housework anyways, right? I don't like doing housework, but I do it because I have to. So why not have your kid learn how to do it, and then, you know, you provide the language as you're doing it, sweeping, pulling, pushing, whatever you happen to be doing in the kitchen. When you're baking cookies, let your kids measure that flour or measure the sugar. I know it's always seems like it's going to take much longer to get that chore done or whatever it happens to be, that activity. But it's all worth it because then you're allowing your kids to take in the language and take in the experience. Then you're bonding, and your kids will remember this stuff. I know I had an event when I had to, I was selling my book at the Buffalo Zoo. And one of my kids that I worked with, the mom and dad and the child, came to the event. So then that was a few years ago, and they were just at the zoo about a month ago. And the parent told me, the little boy said, "Is Miss JoJo coming?" Because he remembered from 2 years ago from that experience of me being there. That was so cute. So your kids aren't going to forget these bonding moments. And that's the point of engaging your kids during these chores and what have you, regular routines, because they're going to remember those special moments. And that's going to, keep your relationship strong. So it's not only about the language aspect, which is so important, but it's also about bonding and letting your kid know that, to help them know that they can get out in the world and explore, learn about themselves, and then allow them to go out and feel safe when they're in school and have to explore, with other kids. There's so many benefits of engaging with your kids and immersing them in the activities throughout the day with you.
And with language, so I was a hypnotherapist, and being a hypnotherapist, I understand the power of words. So I would say, okay, kids, we're going to have a good time. And then what are we going to do? We're going to clean the bathroom, or we're going to do the dishes or whatever. But then we had a little boombox back then, and we put in music. And my kids know all genres because we would dance and sing while we cleaned the kitchen after dinner. Or I always tried to make it fun.
So fun.
And they loved it. And now my daughter does it with her daughter and son, and they put on the music and they clean the house. But also what you were saying about cooking. I know my daughter's stressed out, so recently I started doing dinners with my grandkids. And my granddaughter's 4. My grandson used to do it with me quite a bit when he was little. But just to start having them, like you said, measure, and you're talking to them about, like the meat, how you cook it and it turns a different color. It was just so fascinating as a grandmother to be redoing it now with Emma, who's 4. And I got a lot out of it, and my daughter got a vacation. So, again, just sitting down and just talking. I love 10-year-olds, but anyways, they're just so funny.
I know. It's true. I mean, I guess we don't realize all the skills that we're tapping into. Like you said, the measuring, the quantities, the colors. So much language that we're bombarding them with, and their brain. They're making all these connections. Their brain is exploding and, growing, and that's what we want. You just want to stimulate your kids through that talking, playing, and reading. And, of course, playing is the work of a child, so keep them playing, keep them motivated, keep them engaged, keep them interested, keep them curious. So what if they spill the milk or whatever? We'll clean it up, right? That's another thing. I think some parents are afraid to have their kids in the kitchen. But also, if you're going to have them help you in the kitchen, you're also teaching them how to cook, these skills that they're going to lifelong skills and, learning skills within the kitchen. I mean, that's a huge benefit. So there's so many things that come out of it that people forget because we're always in such a rush to get everything done, right?
Well, and I think that's why being a grandparent right now is so important and being involved. And I have to say, I took your book, and me and Emma, she's 4, we were reading it. She just turned 4, but she took the book away from me, and she started reading it to me. And because the pictures are so funny, well, this is when we take a bath. Okay, now we're we're having fun in the sun. There's the sun. We're going to go, Grandma, let's go outside and go to the swimming pool. They have a swimming pool and a slip and slide. But again, she actually could look at the book and actually she was reading it to me. And everyone was stopped and the whole house was listening because she was so entertaining. But, it was really fun because I just sat down to read her a book. But nope, she read it to me.
See, that's awesome. So that's what it's all about. That's so great. So, and there's just so many different activities within the book. I mean, when I did the research for the book itself, I remember going to Barnes & Nobles and picking up a few activity books, and they were so overwhelming. I mean, 300 to 500 activities. I know myself that I know I will just be looking and trying to find that perfect activity. And the little one I'm working with who wants to be engaged and wants to play has already run off because they don't have patience to sit there. But that's why I created something simple and user-friendly, and it's, like I said, it's pretty much 3 books in one because you have the infant, toddler, and preschool chapter. And so it allows you to zoom right in because it tells you exactly what you need, what you need. Most of the objects and toys most of the parents have, because I set it up where it's simple. There's nothing fancy that you probably have most of the objects that are within each activity because, like I said, they're developed mostly around the regular routines within the home. But the point is, you can take it when you're on the go. If you're how many times you go to a doctor's office and little ones are getting yelled at because they can't sit still, but that's the nature of who they are. So bring out this book, put it in your diaper bag. It's so manageable to carry around in your purse, whatever. It's very, a 5x8. It's simple to carry around. So the point is, grab it when you're on the go, and it kind of gives you a light bulb moment where, like you said, if you're at the beach, there's one activity called So Many Words. You can start, playing games, thinking about all the words you would, encounter while you're at the beach, or taking a walk in the snow. There's just so many different activities that will allow your child to improve their language skills or increase their language skills.
And I think the car is a good place to keep it because that's where we're waiting for someone with sport. You're always waiting. We used to live in the van for sports and stuff, and then you could pull up the book and say, Emma, or you could just pull it up and just go to the page like you would not a chapter book, but those like angel books where you open it up and it tells you the thought for the day. But, then you start, you just pick the one for the day, and then you have an activity. And I have to say, I started my book. I wrote a book. It's about the chakras, but it started as a kid's game of a rock game. And those rocks were in my car. And it was the color game, right? Or the rock game. And they would pick a certain rock, and that rock would be an amethyst. And I would say, oh, you dream, you like dreaming, you like the color purple. But it just started as a game. And I wrote a book all about that. And crayons.
Nice.
Crayons when you're waiting for your food. We would match the colors, or they would pick their favorite color. And I would say, oh, pink is about your heart. You have a big heart or something. But just being yourself creative as a parent and being more childlike.
Right.
That's what it is, about
exactly.
us being more childlike.
I know, it is. It does allow the parent to tap into their imagination, too, and, go back to those childlike moments, which is fun, because that's what we want our world to be about. There's so many crazy things going on, but just take it back to being simple and childlike for your child, and then, like you said, it automatically creates that bonding moment, those special bonding moments.
And I'm calling.
And I know you said about. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, my new thing is the art of visiting. Where you have no intentions of doing something, but just sitting with anybody, like my granddaughter or my grandson, and talking to him. My grandson he was playing a video game, and it's Marvel something, but he can make the Marvel characters dance. And it was so hilarious.
Okay.
He's supposed to be killing people, right? But I could tell that there's certain dances and music that goes to this guy. So the next morning we woke up and we learned dances from the Marvel character. I can't tell you who he is, but he's kind of scary. And we learned 3 or 4 moves with music, with something that had nothing to do with the video games. But, just being more childlike, more creative, and spending some time just being with your kids, grandkids. They teach us so much, and they're so amazing. And I think right now, we're all, you said simplify, but we're overwhelmed. And so when we're overwhelmed, we disconnect, and we might, get into our phones ourselves and not pay attention to what's going on around us. But now more than ever, we really need to get off the technology and really embrace the time we have with each other.
Exactly. It is, oh my gosh, we're all immersed into, like you said, when I was preparing to meet you guys, I got nervous because I was thinking, oh no, I don't know exactly what to do. And, every day we're on the computers and that, and these books allow you to, for example, when I was growing up, we didn't have all this technology. So it was all about imaginative play and role play and, interacting with friends outside, or running around, etc. Just, increasing our skills through play. But now, like you said, there's so much technology, and we need a balance to it. And I think these books bring a balance to children's lives in the sense of, I'm just going to skim through the book. Planting a garden, storytelling, and just naming off some of the activities. Can you say it? Does it belong? Describe it. Nursery rhyme time. What color did you eat? How fun is that? You can, of course, have your meals, and just make sure you use descriptive language when you're with your little ones. Colorful language that you mostly find within your storybooks, and that's another thing, reading. Everybody needs to be reading to their children, 5 to 10 minutes a day. They're going to hear all the descriptive language, and then they're going to hear the grammar components and, be able to imitate the sentence building tasks. But that's what we want to target. That's what we want to get our kids ready for kindergarten. So these books really allow parents and our loved ones to do that for their children.
And what I love is, like, I'm so old school that as soon as the parents go off to dinner and I'm like with them, we don't have a television on, and they come home and we're coloring. We do pencils, not crayons, but it's pastels. Now we're doing finger painting. Ethan, he's 10, so we'd play chess. And by the time they get home, the house isn't destroyed. The kids are kind of mellow. The TV's still off, and they're like, "What? What's going on?
Yeah.
What'd you give my kids?"
I know.
Nothing.
Exactly. Like, for example, look, in Buffalo here, of course, it's fall, and there's beautiful leaves that are falling from the trees, etc. Beautiful, colorful leaves. I mean, you could, go collect some leaves, get some contact paper, put those leaves down, and then let them dry out, and then you can make placemats, very colorful leaf placemats.
That's what I'm gonna do today.
I
want to do that today. I'm seeing my grandkids. I forgot about doing that. And you take the colors and you can also color over it, and it goes on the paper. You just
Yes.
Thank you for that. I'm doing that.
Oh,
today.
yeah, there's just so many things. I mean, even just driving in the car, looking at all the beautiful trees and the landscapes, and just the scenery in the fall. There's so many things to talk about. It just comes once a year, so why not enjoy it, right? I mean, we're all kind of stuck indoors because of the climate we're in, but you still can do a car ride outside and do things like that, or going for the pumpkins, within reason. There, get the apples, make a pie. There's so many different things. Halloween, of course.
Last week, you know what she did? She saw a spider, and we watched it make a web. And me and my granddaughter are just like, and we named it.
How cool is that?
We were mesmerized by this spider. And normally, like kill it or something. But no, I'm like, no. And now she respects that the spider was making that web. Again, they make me young, right? They really do by engaging with them.
I know, and then you could start singing the Itsy Bitsy Spider song. I mean, here's when you might want to go to the computer and, have the finger play song playing, and you might see an animated spider, what have you. And, it's all engaging, and they're learning by that. But that's what I mean. It's just these little simple moments that you can build on and expand on, and you have an activity that you didn't even expect. Just something as simple as that. Like you said, the little spider building his web. But how cool is that for them to see some science? And all the language around it.
This summer, I made them do yard work. They didn't even know they were working. Because we just took all the old buds off the flowers, and then we swept it up. And by the time my daughter got home again, they had a bucket full of weeds, and it was just like they had no idea. Then they're washing my car with me. They have no idea that they're working.
See, you're doing a great job. That's exactly what everybody needs to do, because that's what it's all about. Those simple moments where, like I said, the language is around the activity, and it just all comes out naturally. And they don't even realize they're working because they're having so much fun. So,
and that's my prescription. Fun. After what we've been through, I wrote down fun, more fun. And just like you said, I'm going to do that today with the leaves, because I remember doing that in school. And we also ironed it. I know this sounds weird, but we put them between wax paper. So you just spark these memories of fall and what my teacher used to do with me, so I can reignite that in my grandchildren.
Right. Yeah. It's an amazing time of the year. Of course, when September, back to school, the school supplies, all that kind of language, and now it's fall. The pumpkins, the leaves, the raking. What else is there? Hay rides. Oh my gosh, going on a hay ride. I know it's within limits, but even you can do a pretend one in your backyard with a wagon. You just have to build on it, right? Use your imagination and set it up. Kind of thing with apples, the pumpkins. I mean, that would be fun, having different stations in your own backyard for the kids.
And pretend. I work chakras.
Yeah,
that's your upper chakras.
Like you said, we're just making learning fun. So that's it, making learning fun. That's what it's all about. And that's what the books are all about.
Yeah,
for the kids, for the parents, and creating those special bonding moments.
So, Joanne, what's your website?
Talkplayandread.com.
Talkplayandread.com. And you have a website? And a Facebook page?
I'm sorry, what is that? Did you say Facebook?
Yeah, so it's Talk, Play, and Read with, say it again, with Mommy?
Oh, okay. So my website is talkplayandread.com.
Okay, there you go.
And then the Facebook is Talk, Play, and Read with Me, Mommy.
Great. Beautiful. And then if anybody wants to pick up the books, they can go on there. And is it on Amazon?
Yes, so the books are available on my website, Amazon.com, and BarnesandNobles.com.
Awesome. Talk, Play, and Read with Mommy. And the other one is Daddy. And we invite you to check out Joanne's website. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Trick-or-treating at home. You're listening to Lift Your Spirits with Dena Marie. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Set your intention. Dream